friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck by Matt Hughes. This is a beautiful deck. It's still available on Etsy, and I'll put a link in the description box below. There are also, if you do searches and you find this deck online, there are some decks that are knockoff decks printed in China, and every place the gold foiling is replaced by black. So you might want to be cautious. You don't want to, I'm assuming you probably don't want to buy one of those. But anyway, this is a great deck. I got it from a friend on a tarot Facebook group who decided it wasn't for her. And I'd been looking for it. And it's for me, believe me. I've looked at it and it's really pretty. So here is the box. Little cutout so you can easily open it. Okay, we have a little white book. Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck by Matt Hughes. Copyright 2017 from US Games. Okay, an introduction. And then a little bit about the individual cards. We've got the astrological correspondence, the card meaning, the upright and reversed meaning. So let's see what else we have in this book here. The majors, the minors have a little bit less information. So the minor arcana consists of 4 suits: cups, pentacles, swords, and wands. So if you learned with Rider-Waite, you wouldn't have any trouble with this deck. Then it talks a little bit about the suit of cups, delving into your emotional state and relationships. The element correspondence, the astrological correspondence, the direction that it's associated with, which is west. And then we go through just very slight meanings on each card. So there's cups. Pentacles, the suit of pentacles relates to the physical aspects of life: work, health, finances, creative outlets, material possessions. They appear as a mirror for what manifests in the physical world. The element is earth, astrological correspondence, and the direction, well, according to this deck, it's east. I've always associated pentacles with north and winter. Okay, then we have the suit of swords, associated with power and conflict, but be keen to remember that swords have a double edge. They are reminders that there is a fine line between good and evil, so be mindful of your thoughts and ambitions. The element is air, and the direction north. So they've sort of switched in my mind, pentacles and swords. Okay, and then the final suit of wands: mirror your consciousness and give insight into the core of what you are, both external, I think they mean both internal and external, but it says both external and external. They urge you to take action in situations that arise in your life. The element is fire, the direction is south, and then they give astrological correspondences. A little bit about the author. Matt Hughes is a self-taught traditional artist focusing on the aesthetic approaches referred to today as the golden age of illustration. His style combines inspiration from the Art Nouveau movement, the Pre-Raphaelite movement, and the Symbolist movement to produce an artistic expression all his own. Okay, so that is the little white book. You know, I don't know if you can find this on the US Games website. I think I looked, and I'm pretty sure they were out when I looked. Here is the back of the box. Okay, now let's take a look at the individual cards. What drew me to this was the fact that it was easy to read. The images were simple and pretty traditional. And let's take a look at the card backs. The card backs are reversible, kind of a talisman, sort of a symbol on a sea of green leaves there. The cardstock is typical US games, very nice, flexible, but not too thin, not too, it's quite sturdy. So here is the Fool, a beautiful card. I love that he has an umbrella. Very sweet. Next we have the Magician. We've got all the elements represented up here. We've got a wand, sword, cup, and pentacle. Sometimes decks, the simpler they are, the better. Kind of like Lenormand. You want the meaning to hit you when you look at the card. You don't want to have to look at the card, study it, look at a lot of detail and wonder what in the heck it's supposed to mean. You want to look at it and immediately get an intuitive meaning. And I find that this deck, these cards do that. Here is the High Priestess. She's got her Book of Knowledge. Very pretty. There's no water, there are no pillars. It's more an Art Nouveau style. She does have a moon symbol here, holding her cloak. The font is very beautiful as well. And the cards have this really lovely gold foil. I don't know if you can pick it up on your monitor. Throughout. It's just beautiful. So the High Priestess. Here we have the Empress. Very earthy, very motherly looking. The Emperor. Got the rams down here done in gold. Oh, and up there as well. Here is the Hierophant. He has his staff. And you can see the numbers are kind of incorporated into the card itself. This one has the number down here, number 4, and it's in Roman numeral. Number 5, the Hierophant. He just gives you that impression of religious dogma, conformity, institutions. The Hierophant. This is a beautiful lover's card. Just perfect. How could you do better than that? That's just gorgeous. Next we have the Chariot. We've got that impression of motion. Oh, I love the way his arms are postured. We've got the Sphinx, which is a traditional Rider-Waite black and white Sphinx on the Chariot card. You get the impression of movement because of the way his body is postured. We've got the stars. On the Rider-Waite card, we have a canopy of stars. And this is just more, the gentleman is actually, has the real stars, the real night sky behind him, not just a cloth canopy. It's beautiful. I love that card. I love this deck. Here we have Strength. She's got the lemniscate above her, the infinity symbol. Of course, a lion, which is traditionally shown with the maiden for the Strength card. Very pretty. There's a beautiful hermit. I love that his lamp has this gold candle wick there. The light hits it just right, it kind of sparkles. The hermit. Here we have Wheel of Fortune being held by a shadowy figure. And we've got these traditional symbols as you see in Rider-Waite. They're kind of Christian symbols. They're symbols of the 4 evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, represented by lion, eagle, bull, and man. And the actual wheel itself I believe they're astrological symbols. I'm not 100% certain. I haven't read in the booklet to see. Here we have Justice. She's blind. She has an owl for wisdom, to impart her wisdom. I'm not sure what this kind of a skull figure is there. The scales are almost too small. They're almost imperceptible on the card. I would have liked if they had made the scales a little more noticeable. But it's still a lovely Justice card. Here we have the Hanged Man. Very nice, kind of modern looking with his modern clothing. He is actually holding himself up there, and he could release himself if he so desired. The Hanged Man. The Death card. Grief, death, transformation, a painful change. That really imparts that sort of a feeling. Here we have Temperance. Look at that angel's wings. They are just spectacular. Temperance. I love the flow of the water between the two cups. Just beautiful. The Devil. I love how he's posed. Looks like he's going to jump out at you. Here we have the people who are kind of chained or captured by their baser instincts. The Devil. The Tower. Again, we've got a lot of gold foiling up here to kind of give the card a little bit of zing. But there is the Tower. And each one of these looks like a lightning bolt. Okay, we have the Star. The beautiful star is behind the maiden. She's got her 1 foot in the water, 1 on the earth. Very traditional image. Got the waters pouring into the lake or the ocean there. Very pretty. We've got stars up here. All 7, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stars actually. Next we have the moon. This is a little different depiction of the moon. We normally see a couple of buildings, water in the foreground with a crayfish or a lobster climbing up, a couple of dogs or a dog and a wolf. This is just the moon and a maiden in the moonlight. Here's the sun. Another really beautiful card. Kind of stylized sunflowers down here. Judgment. Rather typical, pretty easy to read. Here we have the World. And again, we see the evangelical figures there. The woman dancing, and she's got the garland. And, oh, I forgot, this deck has extra cards. 2 extra cards. It's the Artist and the Well, and they're actually numbered 22 and 23. I love that well card. Look how beautiful that is. So she's sitting at the well, and there is the Artist. Well, let's just take a quick look at the book, at what the meaning is of the well and the Artist cards. That should be a pretty interesting thing to check out. Okay, the Well, astrological correspondence Gaia. The well is the birthplace of ideas, inspiration, and transformation. All things are birthed from this creatrix, and knowledge flows freely to those who seek it. Upright, it's nurturing, opportunity, nature, and creativity. which is sort of similar to the Empress in my mind. Reversed is destruction, endings, cold and stagnant. It's really a gorgeous card. Next we have number 23, the Artist. Astrological correspondence, Ophiuchus. I hope I said that right. That's a constellation. The Artist is the vessel of creation. This card signifies mankind and shows when you need to open to the knowledge that is available if you stop and set aside the distractions of the human condition and listen. Upright, the meaning is visionary, interpreter, creation, and passionate. Reversed is unstable, judgmental, restless, and greedy. Okay, so that concludes the major arcana. We've got the 22 cards plus 2 new cards that are specific to this deck. So let me take a minute and I'm going to arrange these by suit as I normally like to do. I'll be right back. All right, so let's start with the aces. This deck has absolutely spectacular, beautiful aces. Here we have the Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and Ace of Wands. I don't know why this Ace of Swords is grabbing the sword by the blade rather than the hilt. The same way with the wands, it's sort of grabbing it, this wand or this branch, up rather high. But this looks pretty traditional and typical, the pentacles and the cups. So those are gorgeous aces. Next we have the twos. The Two of Cups, very traditional looking, although there are no people in the card, but we've got 2 cups. We've got the winged lion there. The 2 pentacles, which is sort of balanced choice. And I like this particular depiction of the 2 of Pentacles much better than looking at a jester or a joker. I have a thing about clowns. I'm kind of freaked out by clowns and jesters, and I don't really like them. But this is really pretty. And she's even got the lemniscate here, the infinity symbol. Here we have the 2 of Swords, a very typical Rider-Waite looking image. And very typical here of Rider-Waite, the 2 of Wands. Okay, next we move on to the threes. Oh man, these are just so beautiful. This 3 of Cups is so pretty. Each woman has a golden halo. They've got that celebratory feeling. Here we have the 3 of Pentacles. The 3 of Swords, a very traditional Rider-Waite image for 3 of Swords. And the 3 of Wands, also looking very Rider-Waite. So if you learned with Rider-Waite, this deck will be just perfect for you. You won't have any issues. Here we have the 4s. Resting, retreat, stability. 4 of Cups. 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Swords. And 4 of Wands. Okay, here we have the 5s. 5 is a card of change. A little disruption in the force field there. Here we have the 5 of Cups. Disruption in your emotional life. 5 of Pentacles. Disruption in your financial life. 5 of Swords. Disruption in your intellectual life. And 5 of Wands. Disruption in the energy that you have put forth into the world. So those are the 5s. 6s indicate perseverance, carrying on. 6 of Cups is more nostalgia. Six of Pentacles, you've persevered, you have a little bit of wealth to share. Six of Swords, you've persevered through your troubles and you're sailing on to a better space. And the Six of Wands, you've persevered in your battle and you're now victorious. Sevens indicate confidence, choices. So here we have the Seven of Cups. We've got all these different choices here, illusory. You need to make sure you make the right decision. Seven of Pentacles, you're sort of, you've been working and you're waiting for the fruits of your labor to be able to be reaped. The Seven of Swords, you've got the confidence to move forward. You can even perhaps be a little stealthy or sneaky in what you're doing, but you're, you know what you're doing and you're moving forward. The Seven of Wands, you're defending your territory. You've worked hard for what you've got and now it's time to defend it. Next we have the Eights. Eights generally indicate movement or non-movement. So there's a stability with the Fours. So when you get to the Eights, things are sort of, they've been stabilized, but you're ready to maybe move a little bit because you've advanced and matured. So here is the Eight of Cups, moving into a new space emotionally. Eight of Pentacles, achievement in your career, your job, your family life, advancing forward to great success. Eight of Swords, you can be either held prisoner by your mind, or the way I like to view the Eight of Swords is that you've created a stable foundation and it's perhaps time to move in a new direction. And although a lot of times you see the Eight of Swords as this person entrapped, it's by your own doing. You need to release your bonds and go ahead and move forward with your plan or your idea. And then we have the Eight of Wands, another movement card, generally seen as moving forward, but you know, movement or lack of movement, depending on how the card comes up in your reading. Here we have the Nines. Nines are a card of achievement. So Nine of Cups, you've achieved great emotional stability, harmony, a wonderful relationship. Nine of Pentacles, job success, family life. Nine of Swords, the ideas have all culminated in your brain. A lot of ideas are mixing and churning, and it's very stressful, but you have perhaps learned your lesson that you need to learn in life. And I don't always see this as a nightmare card, so that's where I take a little issue with Rider-Waite. To me, the Nine of Swords should be accomplishment in communication, in your intellect, things you've learned. So it doesn't necessarily mean a nightmare. And then we have the Nine of Wands. You've battled, you've expended a lot of energy. You've kind of climbed that hill. Very nice. All right, then the Tens indicate completion of a cycle and getting ready to renew the cycle. So Ten of Cups, happy family life. Isn't that pretty? The baby. The Ten of Pentacles, achievement, a legacy, a foundation, a family foundation for the future. Perhaps you founded a company or established a job that you've really excelled at and are moving forward. The Ten of Swords. Again, I don't normally see tens necessarily as negative. When you see a card with 10 swords stuck in the back, it's always negative. But it could mean, or it should mean, that you've achieved accomplishment in a field of communication, thought. You've had a great idea that's run its course possibly, and it's time to move on to another one, because the tens are completion cards. So you've taken that idea as far as it can go. Here's the Ten of Wands. So you've worked hard, you've fought for your goal, you've accomplished a lot, but it may be time to ease the burden, perhaps not work so hard. Time to move on to something else. Maybe it's time to retire. Maybe it's time to take a new job. Okay, and now we have the beautiful court cards in the Ethereal Tarot. These are the pages. Page of Cups, and pages indicate new beginnings. They're kind of similar to aces, but they're kind of the more human embodiment of the suit. So here we have Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and Page of Wands. And you'll notice they're all kind of looking off to the side. None of them are looking directly at you. All right, then we have the Knights. Knight of Cups, Pentacles, Swords, and Wands. And the Knights are more action figures. They indicate activity. And you can see the Swords and the Wands are more active, and those two are seated on horseback. The Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups are more introspective, more introverted, not quite as active as the more masculine suits of Swords and Wands. So there we have the Knights. And here we have our beautiful Queens. The Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and Queen of Wands. And just because I'm particularly fond of Queen cards, I'm going to bring these in for a little closer look before I move on to the Kings. Just beautiful, Queen of Pentacles. Wow. Very simple. Queen of Swords. I love the bird on her shoulder. And the Queen of Wands. With the cat, the lions, the sunflower. I love that Queen of Wands. She's beautiful. She's perfect. Okay, and then we'll take a quick look at the Kings. Here we have the King of Cups. And kings are more confidence, achievement, mastery, and you notice they're all looking right at us. King of Cups, King of Pentacles, very confident gentleman there. King of Swords, with his sword and his bird. And we have the energetic King of Wands. He looks a little younger than the other kings. He doesn't have the beard and the aged look. So that's my quick deck walkthrough, the Ethereal Tarot. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel for more deck walkthrough videos and more videos on tarot in general. And I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.